All right. Hey guys, it's btaylortv. Your girl is feeling cute. Got my hair done. I hope you guys like. But look, I wanted to share something personal with you guys. I didn't never think I would ever be able to tell this story with so much confidence because it is quite embarrassing. It was a very, very low point of my life where I just almost wanted to die. So I want to share this with y'all because it's been on my heart, but what inspired me to make it this week was I had someone tell me that my video from years ago and my advice that I gave to them helped them get a job in the news business. And now we're coworkers. So I'm just like feeling so inspired by that, of how things just become so full circle. So I just know that if I can bless just one person with my story and things that I overcame, then I just feel like I did my job on YouTube. It's not about always the entertainment. It's not about, the views. It's about the impact. And I just want to tell this story to you guys because I'm going to just let you know some personal things about me. Okay. So 2015, I can say, was the hardest year of my life. Although that's when my oldest son was born, that's one of the biggest blessings. It was probably the most hardest time of my life because I was interning at ESPN. And during that time, I found out me and my boyfriend got pregnant. And, we were in our last year of college. He's in engineering, I'm in broadcast journalism. Like, I'm interning at ESPN. Things are looking up. I'm a hard worker. I'm in all these volunteer organizations, leader of my news organization, student news organization, interning at ESPN. I'm going out doing things. I won a district competition of best student journalist story. So like, I'm winning all these awards. I'm doing all these things. I'm working part-time at a restaurant. I'm going to school full time. Like, I'm really like that girl that like really hustled her way in, and then boom, like I get pregnant. And I just knew like all of this was just like a disappointment. I had to talk to my mentors about it. I was very embarrassed about it. So I had to think strategically because I wanted to be in news. So I'm like, okay, I have this. It's spring. I have this internship that's going to be ending. Then, next semester, which is like the summer semester, I need to get an internship before the fall because I'm due in the fall. So I know that it's going to be impossible for me to complete an internship at a big pregnancy, towards the end of my pregnancy in case of complications or whatever. So I'm thinking ahead. And my boyfriend at the time had an internship that paid him pretty well. And then so I'm like, okay, well, I got to get an internship. So I'm like applying for jobs, and I'm trying to ask for advice on like family life, being a mom in journalism. And most people around me were not moms. They didn't start their family until way later into their career. So there was no like light for me personally because I didn't see anybody that had kids doing it. I didn't see anybody who got pregnant in college being where I wanted to be. So that's why I feel like my life is a testimony, because despite any bad decisions I made, God still blessed me to get to where I'm at, where a lot of people didn't think. So going back to, I applied for this news station that I really looked up to, and I applied for an internship. Lord behold, I didn't get the internship, but I made a good impression on everyone. So when I got a call back for the second time, I was discouraged, but I was just like, you know what? Like, when they called me and said the first time, I was very discouraged that I didn't get the internship. And they said the only reason I didn't get the internship was because this guy bought in a script from his class and outbeat me. So they were like, that's the only reason why we chose him, but you were like our next pick. So they end up choosing him instead. So I got a second call, and it was from a different person. And I was just like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, they already told me I didn't get the internship. And she was like, well, I'm not calling about an internship. I'm calling for a digital position of like writing for our website and managing our social media. Like, are you familiar with that? And I'm like, yeah, I did that with my organization, but I will admit that I am still in school I'm still taking my AP classes. Like I haven't even taken my AP style writing class. So I'm not really familiar with that style of writing. All I know is broadcast journalism writing, which is different from digital. So they said, okay, well, come on in. We want to meet you because you made such a good impression, you know? So I'm like, okay, cool. They want to meet with me still. I'm going to go in and meet with them. I made such a good impression on them at the interview, and they really offered me the job on the spot. They offered me, I went on one interview and they offered me the job. And I told them like what my experience is. And they said, you know, we know you don't have that much experience, but we really believe in you. And what we're going to do is so and so, who was the senior team lead at the time, is going to take you under her wing and teach you all the things that she knows and how to write and really work with you to improve your writing, because I had to take a writing test. So they knew my level of skills of writing already, and I forewarned them, right? And so I got the job. And it was funny because I asked for so low, and they end up it basically offered me like $45,000. And I was like, oh my God, that's so much money. But to a college student back in 2015 as a journalist student, that actually is a lot of money. I thought it was a lot of money, but it wasn't a lot, but I asked for actually 20,000 just because I had a lot of people tell me your first job in journalism is going to be like $20,000. Like you're not going to get paid anything. And I went with that mindset into a big market thinking that, and they're like, actually, no, we can do better than that, which means I got lowballed. But anyway, besides that point, that was a lot of money for me. I was about 4.5 months pregnant at the time. I did not disclose that because I was advised not to disclose it. They don't have any right to ask me that. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm still like early. So I did not disclose my status of, I didn't think, I was just like, well, I'll have the baby and I'll get back to work, like I was thinking that way. So I go to this job, and I'm not going to lie, like I was very intimidated by how much I didn't know and how unprepared. It wasn't one of those situations where you could fake it until you make it. You really had to know some things, and I really did not know. The downside for me was the person that was supposed to take me under their wing did not. And I take full responsibility of that because at the end of the day, like, I could have been more prepared. I tried, but also I was dealing with pregnancy symptoms. I was really sick all the time. I was really tired. And the only way I can explain how tired I was it felt like I had the flu. Like that's how tired I was. My whole body hurt. And if you can describe pregnancy, my first pregnancy, it was like I had the flu. So, um, so I had to deal with that every day, getting up, working, training. And the lady basically did not want to train me anymore. I don't want to get into details of like this lady because I don't want to bash her character or anything like that. But I would just say that I felt a little bamboozled because she was not training me properly at all. I would sit at my desk all day and she would give me stories and like send them. I was sending them to her, but little did I know she was sending them to the general manager and the director, like complaining about me instead of teaching me and basically not helping me. At all. So I will never forget the day I went on break. I came in, went on break. And when I came back, I got called to the office to speak with the director, and the general manager was in there. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And mind you, I was almost 5 months pregnant, so I did start to show. But not enough to where people really noticed. No one noticed. No one asked. No one said anything. Even the coworker that I was cool with at the time was always telling me, like, I can't tell you were pregnant at all. Like, nobody knew because the way I had my clothes on, right? The way I wore my clothes. So she basically brought me up there and said, like, I've been receiving a lot of your writing samples and some of the stories you've been writing. And I tried to explain how I was not being properly trained. And like, she would leave me, like when it was time for her to go, she would leave. And like, I didn't really talk to her. So it was just like, I was kind of sitting there all day And me as a college student, I did not have any clue of what I was supposed to be and not supposed to be doing. Like, I didn't know, and no one would help me. And I was basically set up for failure at that job. I'm not going to lie. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, I was pretty much set up for failure. But it was my dream job and it paid me. And I didn't tell you guys before I get to what happened when I got fired. I didn't tell you guys, but I announced that I had this job. Okay. I announced it to the world that I got this job, and everyone, and I mean, everyone was so proud of me. And the people that did know that I was pregnant, which was our parents, they also felt like they were upset that we were having a baby. They were upset that we were being irresponsible. But at the same time, they felt a sense of relief, like, okay, he got this job that's supposed to hire him on. She got hired onto this job making $45,000 a year. Like, that's like almost a teacher salary, like, and she's still in college. I think things are going to be okay for them. I thought so too, right? There was a lot of pressure to be successful and not let the disappointment of being pregnant fall down too hard because I got a job, right? And it's great money to at that time to take care of myself and him, because he was also making more than me at his internship. He was making more as an engineer at his internship than I was as a journalist. So anyway, we were pretty much feeling like, okay, we're set. So go to the office and they basically pull up everything that I've been writing and basically told me that this is CNN. That's what they told me. CNN will look at our stuff and we just cannot have this on our website. And I have a story for y'all on that one about CNN. I just sat there and I just was in shock, and she was like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to let you go." And I swear to God, when she said those words, my heart sunk to my stomach, and a sense of panic, and I almost wanted to like beg, but I knew there's nothing you can say when you're being let go, because when you're being let go, that decision was already talked about and made before they brought you up there. So I knew then there was really pretty much nothing that I could do. But I think I did ask, is there something that I can do? Is there some way I can get the internship, like something? And they were like, no, I'm sorry. We're going to have to let you go. Like, this is it. And it felt like I would have rather had the internship than get let go, because it's like, at least I had that experience, but being let go, I would never have experience at that station again. And I just felt like I was embarrassed. Everybody's going to find out about this. What am I going to do now? Now I don't have a job. And I'm pregnant, like no insurance, no nothing. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, everyone was so proud of me. And now I got to go back and face the world and let them know that I'm just broke and pregnant with no degree yet, and got let go from my dream job. It was the most gut-wrenching feeling I ever felt. I had so much anxiety. And what was so embarrassing is when you're getting fired, they walk you down and they're like, "Oh, do you want to clear your desk?" And so now, like, everybody's staring because they kind of know, like, but it was so silent. And the coworker that I did have, they told me that like no one knew, but it felt like everybody knew. And I just left everything at my desk. I didn't have much anyway because I wasn't working there that long. I was working there for like a little over a month, like not even. And I just grabbed my stuff and just left out. And security had to walk out with me. My director had to walk out with me to make sure I get the fuck up out their parking lot. Okay. And sorry to curse like that, but that's how it felt. It was like, get off our lot, I turned to her at that moment and I said, "Thank you for this opportunity. I'm so sorry that I disappointed you. Um, I don't know if it was because of the pregnancy. I am almost 5 months pregnant." And she just looked at me like her eyes So I don't think that she knew. I don't think it had anything to do with my pregnancy. I don't think it had anything to do that they started to suspect that I was pregnant, because she looked shocked when I said that. And she goes, "Oh, well, congratulations." I don't even remember what she said. I think she said congratulations or something like that. "I'm so sorry." I don't remember what she said, but it was just like, "Oh, okay. Well, everything will work out for you." Basically, I don't know. So I pulled off, and as soon as I pulled off that parking lot and the gates closed, I wailed like a baby. I was crying. I felt pathetic. I felt like a loser. My self esteem was to the floor. Any confidence that I had that I was a go getter just felt like, you're done. Every negative voice that can come in my head went in my head and was like, now you're going to have a kid you can't take care of, blah, 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 blah. You thought you had it worked out. You didn't. Like, all these negative feelings came into, and then I had to call and break the news to my boyfriend at the time and let him know that, hey, like, don't have a job anymore. And his reaction was just like, didn't make it any better. He goes, "What? What did you do?" Not the best reaction for somebody who just got fired at almost 5 months pregnant. What do you mean? What? And then I called my parent and they were just like, "Oh my God." Basically, like, what did you do? Why did you ruin this? Why did you ruin everything? And I just felt like I ruined everything. And I can't describe the feeling of embarrassment, because I was so excited to announce this to the world. I was documenting my experience at the job on social media, only to be slowly take off everything about that job off my social media because I was too embarrassed to like tell people I got fired. Like, I think people speculated that I wasn't working there anymore after having my kid. I don't know, but I just didn't tell anybody. And not only that, probably a month after I got fired, I went through a breakup, you know? And so just imagine getting fired from your dream job at 5 months pregnant and then going through a breakup at like 7 months, whatever the time that is. I guess that was months later. I'm going through a breakup. And I had to humble myself. It was the most humbling experience ever. And I had to really take accountability. Like, I had to sit with my pregnancy. I had to be depressed. I cried every single day feeling like a loser. Um, I did not enjoy my pregnancy. I did not take photos, barely. I didn't even take graduation photos. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to complete school, and I focused on what I was doing good with, and that is surviving and going to the doctor and making it out with a 3.8 GPA for my last semester. So I just bust my ass and continue to do whatever I need to do. I got an on-campus job making $9 an hour on campus, being at the call center. And when people saw me, it was just like embarrassing, because like, I had to humble myself. It was the most humbling experience ever. And it was like the walk of shame, but it made me want to just die. Like, the walk of shame for a lot of people, you rather just die. Like, that's how bad that feeling is. And it's just like, those emotions I can't explain. But I'm here to tell you that now, looking back, I at the time, I didn't realize, why would God put me through something like that? Like, am I being punished? Is he being cruel to me? Like, why am I going through something so cruel? And like, I lost the man that I didn't lose him, but the thought of us being married is gone. And the dream job is gone. And my confidence was gone. And I had to make $9 an hour. I went from making 45,000 a year to $9 an hour. But I was gonna work, because I'm not that type of person that's gonna like not work. Like, I need to make some type of money. but I needed easy hours because I was big and pregnant. But I graduated. And it wasn't as what I thought it would be. I thought graduation would be a time of celebration. It was more so like, hey, I just had my kid 2 weeks ago. I passed all my finals, but I will give myself credit that I passed all my finals. And I really just, I don't give my, I don't give that girl enough credit. And I want to say, like, I'm so proud of myself, no matter all the obstacles that I went through, no matter the depression, the suicidal thoughts, the feeling like I wasn't worth anything. I'm so proud of her because she pushed through. She pushed through despite everything. She pushed through. And after I graduated, I just was a mom. I was breastfeeding, taking care of my kid, living at home. And then I finally said, I don't want to be this loser anymore. And my friend of mine from college actually reached out to me because I secluded myself from everyone. I just was so embarrassed about everything in my life. I secluded myself from dating, men, friends, everything. I just stayed in the house and took care of my kid. And she said, I want to help you with your writing. And it was probably the most scariest thing because every time I started to write, I was overthinking everything. I was overthinking everything I was writing to the point where I had writer's block. Like I couldn't even, I'm a creative writer. I can write, ask me now to write something, I will write it. So like I'm a creative writer. I've always been a creative writer. I've always been a storyteller. But that confidence got stripped away when I got fired. And I didn't believe in myself anymore. And it took one person God sent in my life to tell me, no, I'm going to teach you how to get out of your own head because you're your own worst enemy. And she sat down and she had a job at a big station. She ended up getting a job out of college at a big news station. And she was teaching me everything that she was learning there. And I thank God for her to this day. Like, thank you, God, for her. Like, her life is great. Like, her life has been so blessed because she has blessed me. And when no one else wanted to help me, everyone else, I had to look people in their eyes and they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing now? And all I could say was, I was just being a mom, you know, chasing after, this idea of family that wasn't working out. And I had to just tell people I'm just being a mom. And it was so the looks that I would get was just like, mm, that's it. That's it. Like it was like an embarrassing. It was like I was being looked down upon for being a single mom and not working and not having a job. I don't even think it was just about being a mom. It was just like, what the hell are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna work? Are you gonna get a job? Are you gonna go out and just what are you gonna do? Like, why don't you just be a teacher? And I kept getting told that, like, why don't, and I'm not knocking anybody for being a teacher, but that's not what I wanted to do. So as she was teaching me my writing and my child was at an age where, okay, I can go back and out and work. I have to, let me go apply for jobs. I kept getting no's. I kept getting no's after no's after no's after no's after no's after no's. I started my own blog and I just started writing until I gained the confidence. And honestly, I wasn't good at writing at the time, but I knew that I could be a great writer if I tried. So I started my own blog. I practiced writing. I followed people that I inspired to write like. And I just kept trying. And I had to really humble myself and go get a job waiting tables. Okay. A lot of people don't know this, but I needed some type of income. I could not just be a bum. I started waiting tables and it was the most humbling experience again because it wasn't no longer I was on campus. It was I graduated college. I have a degree. I have experience working at a huge company, news organization. I interned for ESPN. I won awards and now I'm waiting tables. Talk about a humbling experience. And you know what I did? I said, I can either walk through these doors with an attitude of defeat, shamed, with my head hung down, or I can walk in here with confidence to know that this is only my journey, not my destination. And I'll be grateful for every point in my life at this point. So when I walked through those doors in my little uniform working at a steakhouse, I was grateful for the people that I met. I was grateful for my coworkers. I I made friends with the customers and they would tip me really well, like $50, $100 tips. Like they would tip me so well because I was just grateful that for their conversation. I was grateful that they was there and I wanted to make them feel better because I knew how many times I felt like crap. And I realized that if I'm going through this, I don't know what these people are going through. So I'm going to make their meal experience the best experience possible and talk to them and make them feel good. Make sure their drinks are filled, make sure their food is not cold, make sure they have everything that they need, their water filled to the rim. Like I was that waitress. Like I was good. Okay. And I was busting my butt. And guess what? When I did a double shift from like, like that morning to that night. And guess what? Mama was pumping in her car. I was pumping my milk. Your girl was hustling. And I said, this is going to pay off one day. And guess what? I applied for a job and I heard so many no's. I got so many no's, but I knew that one yes was going to change my life. That one yes was going to change my life. And I believed it. And I was like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to be a teacher. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to be in news. And it, man, I heard so many no's, like to the point I did get discouraged at times, but I just knew like I had to keep going. I had to prove it to myself. I had to prove something to myself. Because if I can't prove it to myself, ain't nobody going to come in and rescue me. Ain't nobody going to come in and save me. Okay. So, sorry, y'all. I don't want to get emotional about that, but okay. Okay. So many no's. Even this job I applied for, I got turned down. But guess what? God was already making a way for me. Because even though I got turned down that position, they called me back a month or two later offering me a part-time position at that same place. And I thank God that they offered me that part-time position at the time because the position that I applied for doesn't even exist anymore because it was such a high turnover position. Basically, the person that was in that position was meant to fail because that's how hard that position was. So God was like, I'm not gonna let you go through that again. I'm gonna set you up but you just gotta have faith. You gotta have faith. You gotta believe. You got to lean on me and depend on me. It looks like you're not getting out of this situation. I'm about to show you that I can do all things possible. Wait, was it I can do all things through him who strengthens me? I have that Philippines 4:13. That's my favorite scripture. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. And I just knew he was going to make a way. Even if I felt delusional, I just knew he was going to make a way. And guess what? I ended up getting that job. And even when I got that job, those negative thoughts did creep in. Those negative thoughts of me failing, not doing good, not succeeding, being a disappointment again, that all came in. That's normal. But guess what? I leaned on God. And every time someone self-doubted me, because I had haters at the job at the time, every time somebody self-doubted me, I wrote something and it blew up and went viral. It had over 10,000 likes, million views, and they were like, we have not seen numbers like these in so long. Like, I can't be mad at her. And I was like, that's nothing but God. Sometimes when I would write a story, I just felt like he was moving through me. And it wasn't even me. It was him bringing out my talent out of me. And the story would do phenomenal. And I kept doing phenomenal things to the point where less than 3 months of working there, they offered me a full-time position where I got paid more money, way more money. Okay. Now, what's funny is I had an opportunity to go to an event to cover. That same lady from my old job. Oh, guys, I'm skipping something right quick. What's crazy is that before I got my other job in news, okay, because I got hired on to the job, I had to call my old job and ask my old boss to recommend me. I had to ask my old boss to recommend me. And I did not tell this new job I was applying for that I got fired. I just, I only worked there for a short time. It was a fill-in position, blah, 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 blah. I had to humble myself and call her. And I said, why not? Just call her. She calls me back and says, oh my God, how are you? I tell her I'm good. I had a baby and everything. We're good. I'm trying to get back out into the field. I'm trying to get back into the news business and get my foot in the door. And I really would appreciate your help. I've learned from that experience, and I've been working on my writing. I've been working on what, you know, I needed to work on. And she goes, you know what? I'll make sure to not mention that you got fired and let go. And send over your writing samples. And guess what? She did. And that's why I ended up getting the job there, because she recommended it. Isn't that crazy? Like asking your asking your old boss that, can you recommend me for a new job? Where do you hear that from? That was nothing but God. That was nothing but God and his grace for me. I don't want to make this video too long, so go ahead. But what's funny is I went to an event, and that same lady that was supposed to take me under her wing, I saw her at the event as well. And as I was doing coverage, she was following what I was doing. I thought that was so funny, because I'm like, you're the same woman who did not want to help me. Now you're trying to see what I'm doing so you can do it. And we got better content than them at that time. And also, I was going to say something. Also, what's funny is when I got told that whole CNN looks at our stuff, I had probably 2 years ago, I had got an offer from them, and I turned it down because it just wasn't in the cards for me at the time. It wasn't what I was looking for at the time, but I did turn them down. But they reached out to me. So how crazy is that? Some years ago, I was told that I was basically so horrible and embarrassing that they didn't want CNN looking at my writing. Only for a few years later, CNN is knocking at my door offering me a job. And I turned them down. I don't know. I had to tell you guys that story because I don't think I was ever ready to tell it until now. And I feel so blessed and anointed that I'm able to tell this with so much confidence, and I'm blessed. And if you're going through something right now, a job loss, a breakup, some type of form of loss, I promise you, if can get through it, I promise you can get through it. I promise you things will start looking up. I promise you, if you depend on God, no matter how many times I strayed away from him, he definitely let me know I need him every time. There's no better alignment. So if you're going through something, I need you to trust on the universe, which I count as God. I say God, universe, they're the same thing to me. Personally, they're the same thing. You gotta believe and have like crazy faith. And I kept saying, if I have faith of a mustard seed and I work really hard at it, I'm going to be rewarded. It's just law. It's law. It is law. You ask God for something and you work towards it and you believe it's going to happen. You just don't know when that timeline is going to look like. It's going to happen for you. You want to be healed? What are you doing to work towards being healed? You want to get a new job? What are you doing to work towards that job? Okay? Whatever loss you're going through, whatever self-confidence issues you're going through, you're going to overcome them, but you got to put in the work and you got to believe in yourself, because nobody else is going to believe in you in this world. And if you do have people to believe in you, appreciate that God placed them in your life, because there were very lonely times for me, and God sent one person in my life to change my life forever for me and my kids. And he continues to do so, because I still face challenges every day. I suffer in silence. I suffer in silence. until I grow through them. Not go through them. I grow through my trials and tribulations. So you're not alone. And if little old me can go through what I went through, I promise you, you can go, you will grow through it too. It may look like things are just never gonna get right. You're falling out with people left and right. You're going through a breakup. You're not where you want to be in life. I was there too. But I have to remind, and even when I feel like that now, I got to understand where I came from, where I went through, where I gone through. And you can go through that too, but you got to get aligned back again. If you're not aligned, because when you're going through things constantly, that's God knocking at your door saying, hey, I need you to call on me. Because you're not supposed to go through this world without being aligned with him, being aligned with the higher power, because that's where we come from. It's inside of us. If you can't depend on anybody else, just depend on God, because that's where I'm at in my journey. I'm not a perfect Christian. I make mistakes. I don't listen all the time, but I'm trying to get there. But I just wanted to inspire somebody today. So let me know if this video has helped you. Like, share, subscribe. If you like videos like this, let me know. Comment below and just let me know. Like if this touched you or reached you, or if you have similar stories. Even if my story didn't inspire you, maybe your story will inspire somebody else. Because I don't know how many times I went through a comment section and that comment really helped me out. It wasn't per se the video, it was the comment. So if you have a testimony, if you have a word that you want to share that's on your spirit, share it below in the comment section, because you could really be helping out somebody and be serving God at this moment, and serving and gracing somebody and blessing somebody so you can receive those blessings as well. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. Thank you guys for watching so much. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Like, I wanted to share the story, and I just really hope that it helps somebody. All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Bye.